How many of these do you want to do? Because right now you're acting like this is the last one you want to do.
Okay.
Okay, so we should start, right?
How are we gonna start?
We're gonna start. Say, welcome. This is the very first, the inaugural episode of Geeky Things. My name is Doug.
Hello. My name is Rachel.
And we're here to kind of talk to you a little bit about what? What do we want to do with this series?
We're gonna be doing movie reviews and some gameplay and whatever we feel like doing that we think that other people would like to see because we fail horribly and we think internet likes that stuff.
I don't fail.
You fail.
I didn't raise you to fail.
You fail off camera a lot.
This isn't true.
You tried to throw a Nerf dart. Anyway.
Pause for edit.
I know.
And we are now back. Nothing was just edited out of the show.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all. And basically, what we want to do is sort of be able to talk about some fun, geeky things, but also like, you know, from a father-daughter kind of perspective, because I'm trying to expose you to like higher culture.
Yes.
And that's something different than it was when I was growing up. So I'm hoping that we can watch some new stuff, watch some old stuff, and we can kind of bounce back and forth what we liked about it. Today, we're talking about a really terrible place to start this show off, isn't it? You know,
we just watched it like an hour ago.
We watched it an hour ago, but we watched the 2016 DC movie called
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. That's got a whole bunch of cool people in it, including Will Smith and Joel Kinnaman, I think is his last name, and all sorts of fun people. Stacked with so many great actors and actresses, you'd think it would have been a better movie. But we wanted to kind of talk a little bit about what our impressions were, what we liked, what we didn't like, and then kind of go back and forth a little bit. So what did you like about it?
Okay, so we're going to do the good stuff first because why not? And my first good thing was that the characters were amazing.
Boom! That's the same exact thing that I wrote down on my list. The characters were really cool.
They were really good. They were Deathlock, right? Deathlock was amazing. I loved him. Mm-hmm. And then Harley Quinn, I'm really excited that she actually had a relatively sane side. No, Harley Quinn.
No, you said Deathlock.
Oh, Marvel. I'm sorry. Okay, so Deadshot was amazing. I loved how they built his character up, and I love that he had a daughter, so he was awesome. And then
Harley... Does that like bring up like parental father abandonment issues for you or something? Is that...
No, it's like more than just a bad guy, and I think that's like what this movie is about, is that the bad guys are more than just a bad guy who want to steal money and rule the world.
Okay.
It's about they actually have families and they have reasons for this.
I think you're exactly right. I mean, I think that was one of the things the movie tried to do was to make these characters more three-dimensional. It's not just, I'm a bad guy and I want to kill everybody, grr.
Yeah.
But then like Harley Quinn was kind of like a two-dimensional
character.
I was... They try to make her seem more two-dimensional, right?
Yeah, because she had a lot of the regular crazy thing, like insane. She's insane, in case you guys haven't noticed.
By the way, this show has actually got a third co-host. It is Bess the Wonder Dog.
Yes.
And she is desperate for attention. So.
Because she doesn't get enough attention already.
She's pretty much neglected.
So what I was talking about earlier is that Harley Quinn, like, I loved that they actually showed a side of her that was more relatively sane, where she actually took a moment and wasn't like her crazy self. She was like actually sad about the Joker dying and wasn't like completely insane the whole time. I mean, she was most of the time, but they showed a little that little side of her where she's not completely insane.
So they're trying to provide a little bit of depth in these characters.
Yeah.
That was a pretty cool thing. I also liked Amanda Waller. She was very hardcore, man.
Yes.
She was ruthless. She was calculating. I kind of liked. I think she fit in the world really, really well. The other thing I also wrote characters. I wrote the same exact thing. Also, the Enchantress. Like that was a pretty.
She was awesome.
That was so spooky, wasn't it? The eyes.
So awesome.
Ooh, boy.
Okay, so just a warning from like here on out, there are going to be spoilers.
Yeah, we'll do spoilers. I think if it's an older thing, if you haven't seen Suicide Squad and you're watching our review of it, then that's on you, man.
Yeah. So from like here on out, there are spoilers, so you have been warned. So don't get mad at us.
Yeah, just stop watching and go get a life. So, What was your other positive? thing?
So the Enchantress was awesome, and I thought the end was phenomenal. You know what I'm trying to say.
I don't know what you're trying to say. I know the word phenomenal, but I don't know what you think about the ending that was phenomenal.
It was better than the beginning and the middle.
That means nothing. What does that mean?
It was good because there was a fight scene, and it was good because they actually put. The end was better than the middle and the beginning.
So, like, what part is the end, though? Like the big fight sequence at the end?
Like the big fight sequence, and then like everything leading up to that. Like,
okay. You felt like it was all that was worth it at the end.
That was worth it because then there was actually something that they were going for, and not just kind of wandering around like the beginning and the middle of the movie.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's kind of where maybe we need to get into that conversation. So I'll say the other positive thing, and then we'll loop around to what you're talking about. Is the thing I liked about the movie is they sold me on the idea of the Suicide Squad. Like, I think it fit into like the world that Batman versus Superman set up really well.
Yeah.
And it kind of continued that whole theme of like, hey, we've got these different kinds of, these metahumans in the world now. So what are we going to do? And like, that's like a natural like reaction to put that kind of a squad together. And I think, hey, that kind of makes sense. And that all kind of worked. So, so I wanted to get did you have another positive? You like the ending.
I like the ending.
Okay.
That was my two.
So like, that's actually the thing that I feel like I put on like a negative side for me. Okay. I thought the thing was like they had these really, really cool characters, and they tried, I think, to sort of make them more three-dimensional, but ultimately I didn't really care about any of them. Like Will Smith's character, like the Deadshot, like I cared most about him, mostly because he had that daughter.
Yeah.
Who could not act. Like that is one of the worst child actors I've ever seen.
Yep.
Like if you're standing between your dad and Batman, ready to take a bullet for Batman, like that little girl needs some better acting chops than she had in that thing. I mean, she wasn't even crying. She looked, she was kind of hungry or something. Like maybe she was like, Dad, please don't. I'm like, no, man, this is messed up stuff. This kid's going to be like scarred for life. And I was not getting that at all. It was like, this is.
Sorry, whoever played
frankly,
her.
Frankly, you were more distressed the time that I was yelling at the lady at Starbucks than that little girl was.
Yeah.
But anyway, I wasn't really, really yelling either. I just was kind of annoyed.
You were.
And they tried to make things more three-dimensional, but ultimately it didn't really go anywhere. I mean, I think that sometimes the thing that makes a movie cool is that by the end of the movie, you find a character, you care about the character, and then something happens to the character, and the character's like change.
Character development. We learned this in like third grade,
Yeah,
fourth grade.
I didn't feel like there was really any character development. It was just the characters kind of got what they wanted, or they didn't. But ultimately, they're kind of still the same exact people that they were at the beginning.
Like the exact same people.
Except they had this fun, wild, fun, and crazy adventure.
Yeah, and then they went back to their cells and gained like one thing. Like Harley Quinn gained an espresso machine, and then Joker broke her out at the end. But
yeah, it's like their situation changed a little bit because
like
but they didn't change at all.
The characters didn't change. It's just their situation changed like just a little bit.
Yeah, they're sort of exactly the same. And so that was, in that sense, like I was kind of disappointed by the ending.
Yeah.
What was your negative thing?
So overall, I thought kind of just going back to what you said, just kind of restating this in my own words, the movie was really empty. Like it didn't go anywhere at all. And I thought it was missing something in a lot of things. Like when we were watching the movie, we like stopped at like maybe a third of a quarter run to go get lunch or something. And I was
Which
like
is really bad. You shouldn't do that.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't.
It's like guilty, right?
Guilty as charged. But we went out to pizza. I'm just like, it's horrible already. Like, my friend contacted me and she said, hey, Suicide Squad was actually not that bad. You should go watch it yourself. So we finally watched it. And I was really disappointed because we hadn't gotten to the end yet. So I'm just like, maybe they'll just do a whole bunch of stuff at the end to make it all better. But even inside, I kind of knew it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Like.
So, the other thing I thought was kind of missing was that, like, the characters didn't really have, like, their moment to shine, right?
No.
Because when they do the Avengers movies and stuff, every one of the characters like, oh, Ant-Man's going to be big and that's his moment to shine.
Yeah.
And, Black Panther's gonna, run through the tunnel and grab onto the top of the motorcycle.
Yeah.
And like, there's not like that moment where they all kind of shine. Like, there's
all
the
just-
boomerang
they're
guy.
all
Like,
just kinda
he just kind of throws a bunch of
there.
boomerangs, and then Deadshot just sort of shoots a bunch of people, but it's all kind of happening at the same time. Except for the fire dude, he had his kind
he had his moment, but then he died.
yeah.
Which you could kind of see from a mile away. Like when he first went into like, I'll go defuse the bomb, or not defuse the bomb, I'll set off the bomb, and then I'm just like, yeah, I bet you $50 he's gonna die. And then
Yeah. That's you sort of just sense the foreshadowing at that point, He actually has some remorse, and he doesn't want to be a bad guy, and he's on a team of bad guys, so he's got to die. Like, he's got to go, right?
I understand that, but when like they could have put it together better. I'm just like, I'll go set off the bomb. You guys don't worry about me. Do what you're doing. Like, he's gonna die. Like, you can kill the character, just kill it in a way that we're not expecting.
Yeah, it's like it's like, we could plan this out and you wouldn't die, but that really doesn't serve the contracts that we've written for the next movie, and you kind of need to go, right?
So they just like, it's exactly like that. It's like, just go fail to put the bomb there and explode or whatever.
Yeah. The other thing I had was, and this kind of leads me, is that I think the nature of the threat that the Enchantress and her brother had, it was totally unestablished
Yeah.
and vague, right?
Yeah, because they had it. I'm just like, oh, this is so cool. This is like,
You're a
it's like-
tentacle monster. You shoot tentacles, and
But
there's clouds, and then there's like garbage debris orbiting a giant beam of light up into the sky.
That's not even what it was about. It was about like the Enchantress and her brother. Like, where did they come from? What are they doing here?
What's their motive? What are they trying to
What's
do?
their motive? Like, they don't have anything about their realm, where they come from, like anything at all.
What's their end game? Do they just want to blow the world up? Why?
Yeah, we
Are they
know,
trying
like-
to turn us all into like the people with the pod heads or something? Why?
Because I thought they were super cool, and I was really excited when I first found out that she was like gonna be a big character in the villain's villain. I don't even know what that is. What to call it anymore, because they're villains. Anyway.
Yeah, who fights the villains? The
Villains?
The
I don't know.
villains?
But yeah, I was like really excited to see where that went, but then we found like
It didn't
nothing
have anything.
about it.
Yeah, and it's just,
So
can
I
we
was
be
really-
like a little bit more imaginative than it's like, hey, there's a bad guy and they're trying to do something bad on the Earth. Well, there's got to be a giant beam shooting up from the Earth into the sky.
I mean,
You
they
know-
kind of already did that with the Superman movie.
Yeah, they've done that at least once. They did that the other one too. Wasn't there giant lightning bolts that went up into the sky when
Doomsday,
when Doomsday appeared?
probably.
And then you had
I think that's like DC's thing.
The giant light beam that went up in the Avengers too. Can we just we should have a whole show
Yes.
just about
Just
you know,
listing them is like,
the ubiquitous evil light beam that tells people something bad's about to
Yep.
happen. Yeah. So I don't know. I just kind of felt like I didn't really understand the
Yeah.
nature of it. And then there was like that smoke that was like creeping out all over the U.S. I'm like, what does the smoke do? Is it
I know.
It's foggy now.
they just kind of put that there and then they just left it alone.
It's like, oh, it's, yeah.
And I hate when they do
it's
that.
Bad. There's fog.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think all in all, I was like a little bit disappointed. I felt like they tried to do too much. I kind of liked they were trying to do the whole gritty realism thing.
They had
but-
a lot of good things. They just didn't finish it.
Yeah, and sometimes I mean I don't know about how these movies come together, but sometimes I think they get like overly written and produced to death. Where somebody comes in with a really cool idea, and then somebody comes in and changes it, and they get like halfway through the movie and don't like it and do something else.
Yeah.
Which is maybe part of the reason why her character looks totally different for like a quarter of the movie.
Yeah.
And it looks like they CG'd her head onto like a different body, and she's always
And
doing
the
this
voice,
weird
the
belly
voice
dance
is
thing.
like so
Weird.
weird. And even though I know the voice was like really weird, but you could totally tell that the head was like completely fake and
God, the head didn't match the body at all. It was
really weird. And then I wasn't sure. It was probably because I don't know, but the voice seemed really, really off. I know it's like a completely different voice than what that body's supposed to have, but like, ugh.
Yeah. So, any final thoughts?
They did a lot of great things. They just didn't finish it, and then it feels kind of empty and unfinished, but not the good kind. 'Cause sometimes they leave you wanting a little bit more. They did not do that.
Yeah, left a little bit unresolved. So, in closing, I give the movie 5 random tentacle grabs. because they were very random tentacle grabs. And out of 10, maybe 10 would be an amazing movie, but it's 5 random tentacle grabs. And they kind of reach through trucks.
Yes.
And leave it molten. So 5 random tentacle grabs, which is not a great rating.
3. I did not like this movie.
Wow, 3?
I was really
3
disappointed.
what though? You gotta give me 3 what?
3 gunshots.
3 gunshots. Aw.
This movie had a lot of guns.
So, well, anyway, that's it. We're going to try to find something fun to watch here soon. We're still debating whether or not we want to do a Rogue One interview. And
If anybody actually watches this video, please comment down below telling us what movie to watch and do a review on, or if you want to see us play games or something, because I think we're going to do that too, right?
Oh, yeah. That's right. Good. All
A
right,
lot of
cool.
gameplay.
Well, we're signing off later on.
Okay.
Geeky Things signing off.
Yay.